Welcome back everyone, this is Meanpooh with another video on the Acer Nitro 5. Today's game is Dying Light. First off, the game is open world, it is survival, it's horror oriented, and it's an adventure game all rolled up into one. It's developed by Techland and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. The game was released back in May of 2013 for the Windows platform, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and surprisingly Linux. You start off in the back of a cargo plane with a guy getting instructions on what seems to be an infiltration mission. The character that you play, an undercover agent named Kyle Crane, who is trying to enter a quarantine zone in a city called Haran undetected. I'm sure you have guessed that the mission is probably not going to go smoothly. So as soon as Kyle jumps, you get to see some beautiful graphics and a sense of where you're headed to. The landscape looks great, but the closer you get, you notice that you are landing in a trash can, basically. The place is dirty, deserted, and overrun with undead. You land and get jumped by some bad guys, or what looks like some kind of gang. You manage to shoot one of them and manage to escape with some help. One of your rescuers die, and you somehow end up in a safe house, or rather some kind of establishment where there are safety in numbers. At this point, you have slept for 3 days and you are wanting to speak to the so-called leader of the place. On the way to the top of the building, you save one of the residents and somehow prove that you are no threat. You meet the boss leader, so begins a training course of jumps and running around. After you complete the training, you are to go on certain missions that are related to the story, or you can do side missions from some of the NPCs in the world. The game is mostly melee based, with the majority of fighting using melee weapons. I've read on some forums that have said that there are more than 80 weapons in the game, but in the short amount of time I've played, I have only came across 2, a wrench and a pipe. Weapons only last so long, and they lose their effectiveness and may become almost useless unless you repair them. You can craft weapons, medkits, and many other things if you obtain a blueprint. You also have to scavenge for items off of fallen enemies or in boxes to get the needed ingredients. The game has a lot of parkour, so be prepared to run a lot. If you don't know what parkour is, it's those people that like to jump from buildings and like to jump up and down staircases, walls, homes, mostly without hurting themselves, and they almost have inhuman strength, in my opinion, as they have to maintain stamina as they run, spin, and flip to their destination. Experience can be gained to level up called survival points. You can spend the points on a skill tree and upgrade your character with new skills. Lastly, the day and night cycle is dynamic and it makes a difference big time. During the day, the zombies, or what the game calls infected, are very slow. You can move around them easily, and they are very visible because of course it's daytime, and it allows you to simply just run past them. During the night, the infected become more aware and are able to land harder hits. They can run after you and climb buildings, so make sure to get to a safe zone very quickly. I used the max resolution on the laptop, which is 1920 by 1080, and went through 3 presets. First was the best quality, which turns everything to high or above. The only thing that will not enable is the NVIDIA PCSS. You have to manually enable that. For your information, PCSS is an NVIDIA GameWorks technology known as Percentage Closer Soft Shadows. NVIDIA PCSS is an algorithm that mimics the behavior of shadows in nature, progressively softening shadows as the distance from the casting object increases and reducing aliasing on the edges of the rendered shadow. I tried it, although it looks great, FPS suffered greatly. I mean like 10 frames per second drop. Temperatures for the 1050 Ti range between 61 to 67 C. Usage had a low of 78 and topping off at 93%. The CPU never went over 57 C during cutscenes and stayed under 16% usage. 73 to 86 C was the temperature during the selected preset. The CPU jumped between 41 and 91% usage. FPS was about average, being between 34 and 58, and stayed around the 50 FPS mark for the majority of the time. Choosing the balance preset gave us 61 to 66C on the GPU and 82 to 96% usage. The i5-7300 had a temperature between 78 and 84C with the selected preset balance, and the CPU jumped between 63 and 94% usage. FPS was between 44 and 56, but mainly stayed in the high 40s. I find this odd as the quality setting is using more of the GPU, which resulted in higher frame rates. Usually it's the opposite, lower settings netting higher frames. Our last preset, which is best performance, made the game look kind of dull and in some parts washed out. However, FPS was hitting in the 80s until I turned VSync on. With VSync enabled, we were stable at 60 FPS. It dipped down to 48 at one point when I was on a bridge close to a vehicle on fire, and it was getting dark. Usage for the GPU was between 51 and 80%, and as far as the CPU, temps were around 72 to 83C and hanging in the upper 70s. Usage put us in a neighborhood between 39 and 97%, and it really got high when there was a fire or something bright on the screen. Would that be particles? I'm not sure, but it makes the temperature spike. Dying Light ran really well, especially at the higher preset, which was quality. It was very smooth gameplay with no hiccups, no lockups, or screen tearing. If I were to play this game, the quality preset would be the one that I would pick, with the balance setting being an alternative. With that said, that's all I have for now, and for some reason, it came off as a review, which wasn't the point of this video at all. If you have a game that you would like me to try, leave it in the comments section, and if this video helped you in some kind of way, share it so others can benefit as well. Thank you for watching, peace, and try to have a great day, everyone.
They've got him set up in a sort of research trailer, and he's working on a cure for the virus. His name is Zara. Hello? Do you copy?
Affirmative. Secondary objective added. Maintain your cover and secure all of his research.
Try to stay on the rooftops where they can't reach you.
They're all around the car, Spike.
You still have some firecrackers, don't you? Just throw some into the crowd. Those dead bastards are easily distracted.
All done with the car, Spike.
Keep on like that, you just might make it.
Okay, lights are all set.
You ready for the next one then? Better hurry.
Fuck, Spike, the whole goddamn district went down. What the hell's going on? Fuck, what is this? substation reset, but if the grid shorted once, you know it could happen again, right?
You leave the electrical engineering to me, okay? Just get your ass to a safe zone. You're gonna have to spend the night there.
Shit. Hey, Doc. This is Kyle Crane.
Crane, what can I do for you?
I just saw this freaking weird zombie. He's covered in big green blisters. It hauled ass as soon as it spotted me. You know anything about it?
Not enough information, I'm afraid. But if you see another one, do let me know, will you?
Crane, first of all, you did great out there. From now on, if you need something, come see me. And to start with, here's a UV flashlight and a remote control. You run up on a volatile, give him a face full of UV, or lead him into a trap which you can trigger with that remote.
Crane. Listen, Brecken and a team of runners went after an airdrop last night. He lost the rest of his team to biters, and then Rise's men ambushed him, beat him to a pulp, and stole the drop. Now Brecken wants to go after the next drop himself, but we can't let him, and you've got to back me up, okay?
Look, there's something else we need to discuss. Brecken was hurt pretty bad out there. Worse than he wants people to know. He took a blow to the head. Now he's starting to have seizures, and I don't have any Loratrap.
Yeah, I doubt anyone does. Anti-seizure drugs were being passed out like candy when the infection first started.
Yes, that's right.
Look, what do you need me to do, Lena?
There's a man in town named Ghazi. He's not altogether there, His mother had epilepsy, so she died. He likes his routine.
You think he's been stockpiling it all this time?
If he hasn't, I don't know where else we're going to get it from. Ghazi lives under the overpass.
Three-quarters of all airdrops fall in the cauldron. So if you start from there, you'll have the best chance of getting to that drop before Rice's men do.
Jade Rice's men got here first.
Fuck! Okay, don't try to fight them. Just find the second one. Look for the smoke from the flare. The crate should be close by. To sunset. You need to turn back now.
Jade, I'm almost there. I can do this. Crane here. I'm about to recover an antizin drop.
Good, Crane. This offers us a new strategy. Time to turn your attention to Rise. Listen closely. It's very possible that Rise is our man. So if you find an airdrop containing antizin, destroy it.
What? Why?
It will force interaction with Rise. You can go under Brecken's auspices as an ambassador, if you will.
But there are civilians depending on this stuff.
Our plan is focused on the greater good. Remember that.
Jade, I'm at the airdrop. There's no antizin here.
Done? Fuck! All right, get back here and be careful. The nightmares are awake. Don't let them see you.
Oh, shit. They must have heard me.